Welcome dear students to today's session. Today's session we are going to look at the second animal fiber which is silk. Silk is obtained from silkworms. The rearing of silkworms to obtain silk is called sericulture. Let us look into the life history of a silk moth. The female silk moth lays eggs which hatch into larvae called caterpillar or silkworms. The larvae feeds on mulberry leaves and grows in size. Then it secretes fiber made of protein and weaves the fiber around itself completely and forms pupa. This covering is called cocoon. Pupa then develops into a young silk moth. The silk thread is obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth. The most commonly used silk is the mulberry silk. This is the picture of the silk moths, the male moth and the female moth. It is the female moth which lays the eggs. Just look at the life history of a silk moth. The female silk moth lays the eggs on the lower surface of mulberry leaves. You can have a look at the eggs. The eggs hatches to form the caterpillar or the larvae. As the larvae feeds on the mulberry leaves, it's a fast feeder. It eats up the leaves very fast. In its later stage, it develops a covering around itself which is called as a cocoon or a pupa. Further development of the moth takes place within the cocoon. When the cocoon breaks open, it comes out as the adult silk moth. This is the complete life cycle of a silk moth. This is the mulberry leaf, mulberry tree. Mulberry tree, the mulberry fruit and the leaves. Silk moths are reared and their cocoons are collected to get silk, yarns or threads. The silk moth female lays the eggs. The eggs are warmed to a suitable temperature. The eggs hatch into larvae called caterpillar or silkworms. The silkworms are kept in bamboo trays and feeds on mulberry leaves and grows in size. After 30 to 40 days, the silkworms stop eating and begin to spin cocoon. Inside the cocoon, the silkworm develop into the silk moth. This is artificial rearing of silkworms in trays. And how the processing of silk takes place. The cocoons are collected and kept in sunlight or boiled or exposed to steam. This is the saddest part of it. All the worms inside the cocoon gets killed by this process. The silk fibers are separated out. The process of taking out fibers from the cocoon is called as reeling of silk. Reeling is done by machines. The silk fibers are then spun into threads and woven into silk cloth. This is artificial rearing of these are the bamboo trays in which the cocoons are developed and it is boiled in water or in steam, in the process killing all the worms, and using machines the threads are separated. The threads are supposed to be very strong and they are colored or dyed and woven into beautiful silk fabrics. Many people refuse to use silk because the process kills the silkworms, which is not something good for nature. So people refuse on this account that a silk piece of cloth is from the death of so many silkworms. So this is the processing of silk. Now, usual silk moth is the mulberry silk, depending on their texture, smoothness, shininess. Silks are of many varieties. You have the Tassa silk, the Mocha silk, the Kosa silk, etc. So Silk industry is an industry which solely depends on the silkworms and its cocoon silk. Thank you for attending today's session, children.